The Professors is brought to you by Blackborder.com. The site features everything from pro player articles by Gerard Fabiano, Nico Boni, Joel Calafel, Jan Massacard, podcasts, the Ask the Judge and Ask the Pro features, forums, a deck building tool, some of the lowest prices on the internet, and more. So go check out Blackborder.com today.
Nick, we want to know if time travel is possible.
It is possible.
It is. Why?
I was going to drinking my peppermint mocha.
You were what?
Drinking my peppermint mocha.
Okay, and?
And then this guy comes up that looks kind of like me, that's old. The guy says, "Hey, where's Piggy? Is he here yet? I said, how could he possibly know about Piggy?"
You need a flux capacitor or something? I don't know.
Well, I don't know, because apparently I invented it one day, so in the future I might have a flux capacitor.
Hello everybody and welcome to yet another episode of The Professors. This week we've got a swamp of information, actually containing all colors, including Standard's Metaslayer Angel hitting $50, the mono green smack you in the face deck, what you can do to trump it, as well as our second tri-monthly sealed deck competition in which we build two sealed decks, pit them against each other, and then show you a third sealed pool from which you'll build a deck. We'll pit the top four decks against each other on the next show, and the winner could get up to a box of Zendikar. So let's draw. Baneslayer and Termaggoyf are now the only two standard cards to hit $50, and the Angel's mythic status is finally coming into conflicts. Of course, Baneslayer is no Termaggoyf. It's not a 4-of in most extended decks, appears to have no marking in Legacy or even among the Timmies. However, there are standard decks that just need Baneslayer Angel. Boros Bushwhacker needs to see her versus the red decks. The control decks with white need to see her versus Jund to stop the bleeding from Broodmate Dragons, and the Naya decks, such as those seen at the Philadelphia 5K, need Baneslayer and Lotus Cobra just because they felt like jamming $300 more into a tier 1.5 deck. Metaslayer is like A1 steak sauce. It's that important. It adds the delicious aftertaste to an already meaty and wholesome steak. But why is the Angel $50 if the only format it's majorly affecting is Standard? The obvious answer? Yep, it's a mythic. But that's not it. If it was a rare, it would likely cost no more than $25, despite that being its proportionate cost according to your chances of opening a specific mythic rare to opening a specific rare. Think of it this way. If you're facing off and a Baneslayer slides into the red zone, do you panic? Probably. But if you swing with said Baneslayer into the red zone, how do you feel? Is it anything like an, I can beat that opponent now, I did just swing for 10 life, I am the Brian Kibler of this tournament, I will race Progenitus? If Metaslayer was rare, it would probably be played more, and the Baneslayer's gonna die theory would still be in effect, but we would look at it as less of a threat because it would be, at one point of the metagame, expected. Then people would pack extra answers like Deathmark in the board, and the Baneslayer fad would be already over. So how much would the card cost if it was rare? My guess, roughly $20. Still, there is a way to beat Baneslayer. It's not anything really fancy. It's not anything more expensive. It's a simple deck that managed to get 3 Face Smashers to the top 8 of the most recent Star City 5K at Nashville, so let's take a look at the winning list. While you need 10 mythics to complete the list, there are no Baneslayers, so you can put the whole 75 together for roughly $100 and some trades. The deck performs like Elf Combo did at Pro Tour Berlin. However, there are differences, including the fact that in Standard you have lots of time to build up, between 4 and 6 turns safely, have cards that generate more creatures that are beneficial in other ways aside from attacking for free, and have lands that work like spells. The reason this deck won and why it appears to be trumping everything else I see in testing now is because of its insane card advantage. It's not the 1/1 for 2 Elvish Visionaries, the simple mana producers, or even Ant Queen by itself. It's the fact that you can put all of these together, take one part out of the equation, and still have a ridiculous game when you can give 3 creatures 2 +1/+1 counters, and bash in with flyers for the game on turn 4. The deck is only continuing to edge closer to tier 1, and I could only describe it as foolish not to test against this deck. That said, what about last week's Green-White Overrun deck? It's certainly competitive. The only things I've had major problems with in testing has been this green deck. As a result, the list has changed a little for obvious reasons, and these Day of Judgments added to the sideboard don't penalize you at all versus the green decks, and give you a crazy good matchup when teamed with Dauntless Escort and Off and Garrick. And, after all, it's got just enough A1 for that matchup you thought you couldn't win. Prior to Boston, we started the sealed deck competition. We're doing it again, but hopefully with much bigger prizes. Last time we gave away 6 packs of M10 to the winner. However, this time we'll be giving away up to 36 packs, 1 box of Zendikar. So, to start you off, let's begin with our 2 builds. First up, Sparky and Friends.
So we have 7 white cards right now. You don't really play Spell Pierce. The Figment's pretty decent. I really like Summoner's Bane in this format. Into the Roll's pretty good. I'm not a big fan of the Scholar, but if it's a filler, we could use it. You can use it because it does take 13 cards away from your opponent.
No,
2 of them, by the way.
Do not play Archive Trap.
We have 2.
Double Archive Trap?
Yeah.
There's supposed to be a second one in here, but we don't currently have it. We're gonna use it with the Beast token because I technically just sold it away. So the Beast token is the second Archive Trap, so I think that gives us enough to play a little bit of a mill in our control deck. We have 15 blue spells with March Casualties in black. I think I'd rather go black. You have Heartstabber Mosquito, Calatus Blood Chief of Get, another Heartstabber Mosquito, a Giant Scorpion, and a Crypt Ripper. I'm not sure if we play Lacerator in the deck.
Because you're so much more
I
blue.
think because we're so far blue, like we're not going to be guaranteed to hit it. Red gives us Burst Lightning, the allied strategy here because we have a decent amount of allies. Magma Rift, which is removal, Plated GOP, Boar Tusk. He's a blocker, that's good, but I'd rather have something with higher toughness. What does that give us that we're not getting from black? We have 2 Relic Crush, which aren't anything. The Savage Silhouettes. The only decent, really ridiculous card is
Blue-white control.
blue-white. We're still missing 1 to 2 cards from the deck. And I'm not saying that we ever play Spider Surfer. Not ever. Like,
Then you go in and you play Core Duelist. You play a 2/2.
Core Outfitter?
No, that's sorry, Core Outfitter.
Why would you play Core Outfitter?
Because he's a 2-drop.
Because he's a 2-drop 2/2 and you'd rather be...
And there. And then you go...
It's really more of a 3-drop because he's got more blue.
Yeah, he's double white at that point. Like, you need double white to play him, you need double white to play Aeronaut.
You're gonna play the Ox?
You're struggling for playables, and we're definitely a controlling deck. You want to get your Windrider Eel and your Sphinx online.
Black is the better option here. I don't think we should play Crypt Ripper. I think we can run 18 lands with this. You want to hit a lot of your high casting balls. The Piranha Marsh and then the Soaring Sea Cliff. I'd probably go 9/6.
If you want to go with a core theme. Other than that, Pillarfield Ox, pretty questionable. We don't even have a Spider Silk Net to go well. Narrow Escape, pretty good because something is destined to get killed by removal at some point in the game. Keydrawn Crab and Archive Trap, so we've got an interesting mill strategy there, though I don't expect we'll be going mill. 3 Into the Royals sets us to a very controlling deck. Living Tsunami, Sky Ruin Drake, Sphinx of the Jawar Isle, Paralyzing Grasps, and Gomazoa act as our really controlling components. In black, we've got probably more of an aggro tempo, and it looks a lot better. Guldraws isn't that playable. It's a 2/2 for 4 most of the time. March Casualty is always good. The key toughness for this format is 3. Hellfire Mongrel, not really playable. Mark of Mutiny it's a maybe. Burst Lightning, always good. Tuktuk Grunts, we don't really have any other allies, so it's effectively a 3/3 for 5 with haste. Red has the potential to be splashable. In green, we have 3 Scythe Tigers, more playable than Ruinous Minotaur easily. Orin Reef's Recluse and 2 Zendikar Far Guides, both sideboard cards. Quest for the Gemblades is good when you have 2 creatures on board. What do you think between Explorer Scope and Expedition map?
Explorer Scope, definitely.
Yeah, Explorer Scope tends to get you more, tends to get you lands faster, tends to get you more lands. We're pretty much going to cut out green and white here. I don't really see a point to splashing 2 mountains and playing Plated GOP and Burst Lightning. Our curve is actually a little more mid-range. I mean, it's very controlling because we have the Into the Royals, the Paralyzing Grasp, the Cancel, the Gomazoa, the Vampire's Bite, and the Colony Gem, edging towards our high drops, our bomb, like our Sphinx of Jawar Isle, and even our Heartstabber Mosquito. 8 islands, 8 swamps. Sparky's team keeps a hand of Island, Swamp, Piranha Marsh, Aether Figments, Merfolk Sea Stalkers, Tempest Owl, and Bog Tatters, with my team keeping Island, Swamp, Vampire Lacerator, Into the Royal, Umara Raptor, Cancel, and Heartstabber Mosquito. Their team starts with a Piranha Marsh combated by a Swamp and a Vampire Lacerator. Here they then played an Island and could cast Tempest Owl or Aether Figment without Kicker, but decided to hold out as both are relatively ineffective at this point versus Vampire Lacerator's higher power. My team thinks up an Island and beats in for 2 followed by Cancel mana on board. We then score 2 more damage in Umara Raptor, followed by a Merfolk Sea Stalkers in return. However, Sea Stalkers is rendered useless after a swing for 2 and a Living Tsunami coming down. They get a Sky Ruin Drake, but the Drake is into the Roiled, then replay next turn only to duel with a Vampiric Living Tsunami, and take more damage the turn after that. After not being able to dig up a bomb, Team Sparky gets crushed under Team Palmeria's Blue Wings and Waves. Game 2 was depressing. After Team Sparky tried desperately to search for an answer, they ended up with Island, 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 and Sphinx of Jawar Isle, while Team Palmeria got, lands and spells to play. We just played 2 Vampiric Lacerators, took some damage early on, but ultimately smashed to death with 2 Vampire Lacerators on turn 5 after Team Sparky drew into all lands. The submission deadline is Wednesday, November 25th, 11:59 EST. Send all submissions to cardprofessor@yahoo.com or apalm9292@yahoo.com. All submissions must have at least a 3-card separation from one another. If 2 or more don't, whichever was sent first will be accepted, and they'll notify you if you had an unoriginal build so you can re-enter. Our goal is 49 valid entries. Feel free to enter more than once. We had tons of M10 ideas, and it's always fun to do this. Good luck, and until next time, this is Anthony Palmerio. Tapped out for now, but we'll untap soon.